How to choose good security questions. Yes, security questions still exist. It's kind of surprising that they're still being used in a more modern sense of security solutions like, two-factor authentication and more. Unfortunately, a lot of providers are still relying or haven't updated their old technology to use something other than security questions. So that means when you're faced with a system that is using security questions, what's the most secure thing to do? How do you use them the most safely? How to choose good security questions. Security questions are a cornerstone of much internet security. I'll look at what they are, how they fail, why you should avoid them, and what to do if you can't. I'm Leo Notenboom. This is AskLeo.com. Question. What does it mean when a job application requests a password recovery question as well as a password recovery answer, in addition to the other password? What should I enter? Password recovery questions, more commonly called security questions or secret questions and answers, are used to verify you as the legitimate owner of an online account when you've forgotten your password or are otherwise trying to recover an online account. Apparently, in filling out your online job application, you created such an account. More commonly, security questions are associated with email, banking, and social media accounts. I'll look at how they work, when they're needed, how they fail, when you can make up your own, and what to do if you can't. And perhaps most importantly, why you shouldn't use them at all if you have a choice. How security questions work. The idea is simple. When you create an account, you provide the answer to a question of a personal nature, ideally a question that only you know the answer to. That answer is recorded, and should you ever need to confirm that you are the legitimate account holder, they ask you that question. If your answer matches what you originally entered, you pass. Usually you're given a stock set of questions to choose from. Things like, what was your mother's maiden name? What was your favorite childhood pet? What was your high school mascot? And so on. You choose one, answer it, and that's the one that will get asked should you need it again in the future. Some account providers have you answer several questions. When the time comes to use them, they may select one or they may insist you answer all of them correctly. When security questions are used. The single most common use for security questions is to recover or reset your password. The scenario is what you might expect. You forget your password, so you click the I forgot my password link on the account sign-in page. The service asks you your account recovery questions, and if you get them right, you're allowed to set a new password. Some services require additional security measures. Perhaps answering those questions correctly triggers a password reset email sent to the email address on record. Perhaps other steps are involved. But answering those questions correctly provides evidence that you are you. You are the person who set up and therefore owns the account. Password recovery is not the only time these questions might be used. They can be used anytime a service needs additional verification that you are you. Perhaps a system detects quote-unquote suspicious behavior. Maybe you've cleared cookies and the website needs to re-verify your identity. Why security questions fail? Reason number one. The single biggest failure related to security questions? Forgetting the answers. This used to surprise me. People regularly create accounts and put in nonsense answers to the password recovery questions. Perhaps they're in a rush and don't want to take the time. The problem is when they need to recover their password and can't answer the questions. They are totally and completely out of luck. Lesson number one, don't forget the answers. Why security questions fail. Reason number two. Security questions aren't as secure as you might think. We don't realize how much of our personal information we unintentionally leak via social media. Someone can answer our security questions with just a few minutes of research. It's not hard to figure out my mother's maiden name. I'd be surprised if anyone knew the name of my favorite childhood pet, but it's not hard to figure out what high school I went to and from that determine the mascot. Lesson number two. Security questions aren't very secure. That's why they've fallen out of favor with many online services. If you have a choice, avoid them and use more secure options like two-factor authentication, alternate email addresses, textable phone numbers, or recovery codes. Make your own security question. Normally, you choose from a set of predetermined questions. It's rare to be allowed to make up your own. If you have the option to make up your own question, use it. Make up a question that only you can know the answer to. It doesn't even have to make sense. What's the difference between a pencil? Is a great password recovery question as long as you and only you will always remember that the answer is Godzilla or whatever. More commonly, people choose questions that make sense and relate to their answers. The important thing is to create a question only you can answer. Make your own answer. When it comes to security questions, only two things matter. Only you know the answer. You will always know the answer. That's it. Nowhere does it say that the answer has to make sense or even be intelligible. All the system checks is that the answer you give is the same as the one you gave when you set it up. So go ahead and set your mother's maiden name to something like Microsoft. It's a completely nonsensical answer that no one is likely to recover via research. Just be prepared to remember it when you need it. The answers don't have to make sense. They just have to match. Security questions as passwords. Next to avoiding security questions completely, if you can, the next most secure way to use them is to treat them as passwords. I mean that quite literally. They don't have to make sense, they just have to match when needed, just like a password. So instead of setting up some kind of nonsensical answer to the question, set it to something completely random, like a 20-character string just generated by my LastPass password generator. But then prepare for the day you need it. Save it somewhere, perhaps in the notes accompanying the entry for that account in a password vault like LastPass. That way, as random and impossible to remember as it is, you'll always be able to find it when you need it. For links related to this article or to leave a comment, visit askleo.com/4624. I'm Leo Notenboom. This is AskLeo.com. Thanks for watching.